Shalom, brothers and sisters, and once again, I am your host, Shabar Judah Ben Israel, bringing you another awesome lesson on today concerning S.F.I.A Foundation, International Ministries, and also, as you can see before you, S.F.I.A Foundation Israelite Academy. Brothers and sisters, please subscribe. We need your help. We need you to help us to push this truth to the four corners of the earth. Why? Because the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans concerning biblical prophecies are the chosen seed. What do I mean by that? Blacks and Hispanics, the people of Negro, the ending in descent, are the 12 lost tribes of Israel today. And the Bible is their history book. And the Bible is for them, and it was written by them, okay? We have a wonderful lesson on today. And this lesson on today is going to be what most brothers and sisters will consider a hard question. It's not a hard question at all. But we will get into that question after we do the shots out to the elders. Okay, we say double honors to the elders. Salutations to the brothers that's preaching and teaching this truth in season and out of season, weekends and week outs, prophesying the downfall of America on the behalf of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And last but not least, we give all praises and glorification and due honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. And let's get into the lesson. So what is that wonderful question? The question is concerning the Bible. When you read in Genesis, the 9th chapter, the 25th verse, many believe that Ham castrated his father. So let's head over to the Bible verse. This is Genesis 9:18. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth, or Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. So as you can see here, Noah, he has three boys, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, or Japheth, some may say. And we know that Shem, let's pull up the table of nations because I want to show you something. You see right here concerning the table of nations, there are 18 nations in the earth total. And these are all the nations in the earth. And you know that Israel is the chosen people, the chosen nation, okay, the children of the Most High God. And it's just dealing with various nations on the earth, with Israel being the most peculiar nation of all. But anyways, and remember y'all, Israel is blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. But anyways, in Genesis, right, it speaks of Noah having three sons, and that's Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So when we pull up the table of nations, brothers and sisters, you can see that these 18 nations total in the earth came from the three sons of Noah, which is, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Now, the Shemitic nations are Israelites, which consists of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the people basically of Negro and ending in descent. They are known as Shemitic, and they are the Israelites. Other Shemitic nations are European people, or some may say Caucasian or white people. They are Shemitic. Also, the East Indians that occupy the land of the country of India, they are Shemitic. The Assyrians, and over in the Middle East, Assyria, they are Shemitic. Syria are Shemitic. The Arabs, okay, Muslims, Islam community, Arabs, Arabians, they are Shemitic. Chinese, okay, they are Shemitic, including Japanese, they are Shemitic. So you can see that the Shemitic nations are Israel, basically blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And then following along with the white people, Indians, East Indians, Assyrians, Assyria, Arabs, Chinese, and Japanese. From 1 to 8, all these are Shemitic nations. Why? Because they are the descendants of Shem, concerning Genesis 9 and 18. So Noah did have three sons, and Shem was one of the sons that, he had. And all these, keep in mind, was melanated, dark-skinned men. They was black men. There were no white men during this time. So you know that Noah had 3 sons, which you see here is Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Okay, as you can see there. And all the Semitic nations, like I mentioned previously, are from 1 to 8. So let's look at the next boy that Noah had. His son named Ham. Ham. Now, concerning the table of nations, you see the Hamitic nations, which consists from 9 to 12, which are Ethiopians, Kawash in the Hebrew, Ethiopians, which is Cush, okay, because Cush means burnt or black skin, okay, burnt face. That's what the Greeks call the Phoenicians, or you could say the Hamitic people. They call them Ethiops, which in Greece, the Grecian language means burnt faced people. So you can see that Ethiopians, they are Hamitic. You can see that the Egyptians, they are Hamitic. North Africans, which are Libyans, they are Hamitic. And also South Africans, which are Canaanites, they are Hamitic. So what I'm saying is, to wrap it up, concerning Hamitic nations, from 9 to 12, these are what you would call modern day Africans. Okay, African nations, Ethiopians, Egyptians, North Africans, and South Africans. From 9 to 12, these are Hamitic. Okay, so like I said in Genesis 9 and 18, that was also a son of Noah. And like I said, Ham is the progenitor of the African people today. All right, you can even look at this in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary concerning Ham. It tells you he became the progenitor of the dark nations, but he didn't become the progenitor of the so-called Negroes. Why? Because the so-called Negroes sprung out of the house of Shem, as you can see right here. So-called Negroes and Hispanics and Native Americans are Israel. And from 1 to 8, that's all Shemitic. But from 9 to 12, that's all Hamitic. Okay, so all these table of nations just come out of these 3 boys of Noah. So we went over the Shemitic nations, we went over the Hamitic nations, and last we're going to go over the Japhetic nations, or your Japhetic nations. Okay, now as you can see right here, it says Japheth or Japhet. There was also one of the sons of Noah. And when we look at the table of nations, brothers and sisters, those consist from 13 to 18 Turkish people, okay, that modern day, that occupy modern day Turkey, okay, the Russians, Russia, the Greeks, Greece, Germans, the Spaniards, Spain, okay, you think of the conquistadors, the Inquisition, Cyprus, which is Italy, the Kittites, which is Italy, basically Rome. All right, so from 13 to 18, those are Japhetic nations. From 9 to 12, those are, you know, Hamitic nations. And from 1 to 8, those are Shemitic nations. So all these 3 boys of Noah makes up the table of nations. Now, this lesson is not based on breaking down and going into the table of nations. I felt led to share that with you guys, you brothers, you sisters. Why? Because if you didn't have the understanding of Noah and basically nations that came out of his 3 sons, now you have the edification. So let's continue on. Genesis 9 and 19. It says, these are the 3 sons of Noah, and out of all those 3 sons makes up all these nations today. Okay? Because they were the ones that repopulated the earth after the flood. Okay, so let's go on and say out of these 3 sons were Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. See, so and of them was the whole earth overspread. So all these modern day nations in the earth today, various different diverse nations of people, sprung out of these 3 sons of Noah, y'all. Yes. Okay, and Genesis 9 and 20, and Noah began to be an husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. So Noah planted a vineyard, he was a husbandman. Now what is a husbandman? Okay, a husbandman is someone who occupies vegetation, crops in that area. So let's look at the Hebrew 376. It says ayash, and it says man, in contrast to a woman, a female. That's where basically the term today husband come out of, because a husband is basically like a farmer. a sower, someone who sows. So back then, if you was a farmer and you occupied a certain land, they call you a husbandman. And that's where the modern day term husband comes from. Because just like a farmer sows seed into the soil, a man sows seed into that particular woman, bringing forth a child. So like you see husbandman, that's like basically a farmer, someone who occupies vegetation or whatnot. In Noah's case, Noah occupied a vineyard. So he began to be a husbandman and he planted a vineyard. Genesis 9:21, and he drank of the wine and he was drunken and he was uncovered within his tent. So this happened after the flood, y'all. Okay, this took place after the flood. Okay, and when Noah became intoxicated off the wine that he drunk, he became uncovered in his tent. Now there are many takes on this book, chapter and verse. However, I'm going to give you the legitimate breakdown. Many Israelite brothers and sisters, many people out there, not only Israelites, but the Christian communities, just in general, the theologian community and seminary schools or whatnot, or the church organizations, they will say that this Genesis 9:21 talks about Noah being castrated. Let me bring up an illustration. As you can see, they would say, did Ham emasculate Noah? Okay, they would say, what happened to Noah concerning this verse right here? Did this happen to Noah? Did Ham emasculate Noah? Or they may say, did Ham anally penetrate Noah, or did he rape Noah? What's going on, man? A lot of people want to know about Genesis 9:21. So I'm going to give you the legitimate breakdown. And after this lesson, share it with your brothers, share it with your sisters, share it with your friends in your community. So you will never have to be caught up in the midst of wondering what in the hell took place concerning Genesis 9:21. So let's get into the breakdown. Lock and load, brothers and sisters. Here we go. It says, and he drank of wine and he was drunken. Now, who was that? Noah. Noah became intoxicated. Noah's clothes, basically, concerning the scriptures, says was uncovered within his tent. Or was it really Noah's clothes? We will discover this as we progress with this lesson. Genesis 9:22. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without. So basically it says that Ham, which one of the, I believe, was the youngest son of Noah, one of his sons. Ham, keep in mind, Ham are the modern day African nations today from 9 to 12. Ethiopians, Egyptians, North Africans, and South Africans. So basically Africans, the progenitor of the African nations. Ham saw, says the scriptures, Genesis 9:22, saw the nakedness of his father and told his brothers without. So what's going on? We will discover it. Genesis 9:23. And Shem and Japheth, which was the brothers of Ham, took a garment and laid it upon both of their shoulders and went backwards, okay, and covered the nakedness of their father and told their fate, cover the nakedness of their father, and their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. Genesis 9:24. And Noah awoke from the wine, basically when he became sober, in a soberish state. He knew, basically, he perceived what his younger son had done unto him. So what in the hell is going on from the points of Genesis 9:21 following to Genesis 9:24? Many people would say, we know exactly what's going on. They would say what's going on is that Ham anally raped his father Noah. He emasculated him, he castrated him, and some would say he sodomized him. Okay. Did that actually happen concerning from Genesis 9:21 to 24? No, brothers and sisters. No. Ham did not. Okay, once again, Ham did not anally go up into his father. Okay, he didn't do that. He didn't castrate his father or he didn't emasculate his father, some may believe. He did not do that, brothers and sisters. So what did he do? I know you're saying, what in the hell did he do? Let's let Scripture interpretate Scripture by going into the King James Holy Bible and looking deeper into this and scrutinizing this. So let's analyze this. So what in the hell Ham actually did then? Now, to alleviate a lot of confusion and to alleviate a lot of chaos, you need to know how to read the Bible. And that's precept upon precept. So now let's go into Isaiah, okay, and we'll get back, brothers and sisters, to break down this topic. This is Isaiah 28:9, because I don't want you guys thinking that this happened to Noah. I don't want you thinking that this happened to Noah. So let's get proper understanding. Isaiah 28:9, whom shall he teach knowledge? Whom shall he make to understand doctrine or understand? Okay, them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breasts. All right, you start out as a babe in this truth, and you progress as you mature into an adult to get off the milk, to become not weaned to the breast. Isaiah 28:10, for precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. This is referring to when you study your Bible. Precept must be upon precept. A precept is a cross-reference. We're going to use cross-references to get understanding of what happened to Noah, because, brothers and sisters, this is far from the truth. So precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Why did Isaiah 28:10 state that? We're going to show you exactly why I stated. Let's go in Psalms 119:104. And we'll go ahead and decode what happened to Noah after this verse. I promise you. Psalms 119:104. Okay, and it says, why we read precept upon precepts? It says, because Psalms 119:104, through thy precepts, the cross references of the Bible, this is how you get proper understanding. Therefore, I hate every false way. Now, what is a false way? Leaning on your own understanding. Reading the Bible and perceiving in your mind what you think the scriptures are talking about. No, you have to use cross references. All right, and these are verses to get understanding. So through the precepts, this is how you get understanding. You don't get understanding by going and buying commentaries, because the commentaries most likely is going to tell you that Noah was emasculated, he was sodomized, or he was castrated by his son, his younger son Ham, and that is not the truth. So get precepts, and brothers and sisters, I can assure you that you will get understanding, and you don't have to turn to false ways like commentaries, philosophies, and other books out here that is just another man or another woman's opinion. So let's get into the main ingredients here. Here we go. What happened to Noah? Did this happen to Noah? No. So let's go back to the previous chapter concerning Genesis chapter 9. Now, Genesis 9:22, once again. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his brethren. Genesis 9:24. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done to him. So now we're heading over to Leviticus 18:8. Let's go to Leviticus 18:8. We are in Leviticus chapter 18. And however, brothers and sisters, when you're reading Leviticus 18, a great topic to apply to Leviticus 18 would be concerning sexual relations. This is what Leviticus 18 chapter is talking about. It's talking about sexual relations. And we're going to start with Leviticus 18 and verse 8 concerning sexual relations towards the people of your nation, the nation of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. Leviticus 18:8. It says, the nakedness of your father's wife shall thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. So we can pretty much end the lesson right now. That is the answer to your question, brothers and sisters. If you're saying, did Ham emasculate Noah? No, Ham did not emasculate Noah. Here's your answer. Here's the precept. Says that the nakedness of your father's wife, okay, your dad's wife, okay, the nakedness of your dad's wife shall thou not uncover, brothers, okay? You shouldn't uncover the nakedness of your dad's wife. Why? Because if you do that, then that's considered to be thy father's nakedness. So to uncover the nakedness of your dad's wife is to also uncover his nakedness. See that? Now, why did it say that? Let's see. This is Genesis 2 and 24. It says, therefore shall a man leave his father. This is talking about marriage, matrimony. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. We know that sexual intercourse on biblical matters is considered as marriage. You know, when you break down the word marriage, brothers and sisters, if you don't understand the esoteric meaning of knowledge, the esoteric meaning of marriage, when you break down marriage is marriage. So it's to cut age. When a woman comes on her flowers, when a woman gets her flowers, like around the age of 12, 13, she is capable of being cut or marred at that particular age. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the etymology, I'm not going to say the etymology, but the esoteric knowledge of marriage. Therefore shall a man leave his wife and the mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. This is talking about two becoming one. Okay, in agreement and so forth and everything else. Genesis 2 and 25. You know, and they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. Now, this is talking about Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Okay? And this is not talking about physical nakedness. That's another lesson within itself. But anyway, it says, see right here, Adam said, this is now bones of my bones, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. And then it goes down what we just read. So when the father... basically, when the man leave his father and leave his mother and take upon a wife to marry, you know, to unite to, then those two become one. And what's his is hers, and what's hers is his. And that's why we showed you in Leviticus 18 and 8, it says that the nakedness of your father's wife shall thou not uncover. Why? Because it is thy father's nakedness. So to uncover your father's wife or your dad's wife is to also uncover him. So that would make you homosexual. Many people don't understand that, because when they look at this in the Bible, let's look at this right here, okay? Deuteronomy 23:17 says, there shall be no whores of the daughters of Israel, and also concerning the men of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Basically, among the nation of Israel, we don't support homosexuality, and we don't basically indulge in homosexuality, because the Most High chose the blacks, Hispanics, Native American men and women to be holy nation of people. So Deuteronomy 23:17 says, on the man's behalf, it says that there shall be no sodomites of the sons of Israel. See that? And a lot of people don't understand. They would think that to be actually a homosexual is to, you know, literally physically go and unite to another man such as this. See, they thinking that, you know what I'm saying? They thinking when they say there shall not be a sodomite among the sons of Israel, you know, they thinking that you got to actually go and indulge in such activity as you see here. But no, what you fail to realize, brothers and sisters, and primarily the brothers, you need to start chipping the paint, man. You know, chipping the paint, and to see homosexuality on a deeper level, man. Because if you don't have to necessarily go out and indulge in this activity that you see here, you can become a homosexual by taking another man's wife, man. You know, that's the part the brothers don't look at. How is that? You can become a homosexual by taking another man's wife. You know, because when you type in like adultery, you know, let's look at that. Let's see. Adultery. Okay, we know what adultery is. Adultery is when you sleep around, you having an affair with another man's wife or another woman's husband. That's adultery, right? Well, basically, what most men don't realize is that when you sleep with another man's wife, then you're actually sleeping with that actual man. And that would make you what? That would make you a sodomite, man. You know, I mean, I don't like to use the term sodomite because a sodomite is not a homosexual. A sodomite is just, you know, an inhabitant of the land of Sodom. And they just called the people who occupy the land of Sodom sodomites. But definitely, if you are indulging in adultery, sleeping with another man's wife, that makes you a homosexual. You know why? Because you'll be better off sleeping with that man. And most people, they don't look at that side. They don't look at that side. They just think Deuteronomy 23:17 talks about when it says there shall be no sodomite of the sons of Israel. They think you got to actually go out and indulge in this such manner here, not realizing you become a sodomite, or I would like to use the term a homosexual. You become that when you decide to commit adultery with another man's wife. Why? Because the minute you pop that another man's wife, you lay her on her back, and the minute you pop another man's wife, you pop in the man as well, and you actually become what you would call a homosexual or a sodomite. And those that you don't believe that, then Leviticus 18:8 shouldn't say what it says. So the nakedness of thy father's wife thou shalt not uncover, because if you uncover the nakedness of your father's wife, then you also going to uncover the nakedness of your father's. And I have many takes on that. That's pretty much what went on in Genesis chapter 9, man. You know, Genesis chapter 9 and let's see, 22. That's what basically went on, man. You know, it says 9:22 of Genesis, and Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without. He didn't actually see the nakedness of his father. To see the nakedness of his father is to also, you commit some type of, activity with his wife, man. So Ham, being the youngest son of Noah, no doubt concerning the precepts, letting the Bible interpretate scripture upon scripture, Ham did not see the nakedness of his father. He saw the nakedness of his father's wife. And no telling what Ham did to his father's wife. He could have, he could have had sexual matters with her. I don't know, but we do know that Ham had to do some type of sexual manner with, his father's wife, because to see thy father's wife is also to discover thy father's nakedness, concerning Leviticus 18:8. So that's what it's talking about. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers. And when you go back up here, it says, see 9:21, he drank wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. It wasn't actually his father. Ham didn't uncover his father. Ham uncovered his father's wife. And to do that is to uncover thy father's nakedness. And I'll show you one more time before we go to the next verse. Leviticus 18:8, the nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. And Ham uncovered the nakedness of his father's wife. And that was counted as, Noah being uncovered, because that was his father's nakedness. Okay. We can also look at Leviticus 20:11. Leviticus 20:11. That's all. Okay, we can look at that. Now Leviticus 20 talks about punishment for sins. Certain punishments, judgments that you receive for transgression or abomination. That's what Leviticus 20 talks about. So let's look down at Leviticus 20:11. Okay. It says, and the man that lieth with his father's wife, see, have uncovered his father's nakedness. You see that? And that's what's pretty much going on in Genesis chapter 9 concerning Ham. You know, saying that he saw the nakedness of his father. He didn't actually see the nakedness of his father, and he did not emasculate his father. This is BS. No, he didn't do that. We showed you the precepts, man. So here go another one. Leviticus 20:11. And the man that lied with his father's wife have uncovered his father's nakedness. So Ham lied with his father's wife, and that was counted as uncovering his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. When it says their blood shall be upon them, that means there was no animal sacrifice to atone for that sin. You had to be stoned for that capital offense. But anyways, as you can see, we're just giving you several book, chapter, and verses behind this topic. Did Ham emasculate Noah? No. I'll give you one more. Deuteronomy 22 and 30. So Deuteronomy 22 and 30. Deuteronomy 22 talks about covenant stipulations. There's a stipulation to certain covenants. Deuteronomy 22 and 30, the last book, chapter, and verse we will bring out. Deuteronomy 22 and 30. It says, a man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt. Because why? To take your father's wife, brothers, if you take your father's wife, brothers, you are going to discover your father's skirt. What does that mean? Thy father's nakedness. So that's what Ham did. Ham took his father's wife. Ham took his father's Noah's wife, and that was counted as discovering his father's nakedness. That's Deuteronomy 22 and 30. So did this actually happen? Hell no. Noah didn't have no rod going up into him. Okay, Noah wasn't getting his back door pound out. Ham did not emasculate Noah, castrate Noah, or some may say sodomize Noah, or anally penetrate Noah. No, he did not do that. Ham, once again, took his father's wife. Whatever he did with his father's wife, the Bible don't say, we don't know. But however, he could have indulged in sexual manners with his father's wife. I don't know what happened. But we know that Ham, Noah's youngest son, took his father's wife and did what? When he did that, he was counted automatically by default of discovering his father's skirt, his father's nakedness. So when we go back to Genesis 9, I don't want you brothers and sisters coming up to me anymore asking me, was Noah raped by his son Ham? No. So when we read it again, Genesis 9 and 20, Noah began to be a husbandman and planted a vineyard. 9 and 21, he drank of the wine and was drunken. He was uncovered in his tent. We gave you the precepts. To uncover your father's nakedness is to uncover your father's wife is to uncover your father's nakedness. And says 9:22, and Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father. Why? Because he uncovered his father's wife, and then he told it to his brethren. See that? So Genesis 9:23, and Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it upon both of their shoulders, went backwards, and covered the nakedness of their father. Basically, Shem and Japheth, they took a garment and they walked backwards and they covered the nakedness of Noah's wife. That's what it's saying. Because Ham had done something to her. The Bible doesn't say, and their faces were backward, so they didn't see the nakedness of Noah's wife. Because to see the nakedness of Noah's wife is to see the nakedness of Noah. And they went backwards and they saw not their father's nakedness. They didn't see their father's spouse nakedness or his wife nakedness. That's all. So with this lesson, brothers and sisters, Ham did not emasculate Noah. Once again, this has been a wonderful lesson. Hope you were edified. Share the knowledge. Solid Foundation Israelite Academy 2017. Please subscribe and be on the lookout for more upcoming videos concerning this truth on the behalf of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And with this, we say peace and blessings. Shalom.